Well, we made it to South Padre Island, and then we ran into a bit of a problem, quite a significant problem actually, with our electrical system. So we had to stay the night in a hotel. First night in South Padre, in a hotel. So here's what happened. We were in Lufkin, Texas, stayed the night at a KOA journey. Everything was golden. Woke up in the morning and we had to unplug our electrical system so we could leave, and noticed that one of the pins had melted the plastic plug. There was something going wrong with our electrical system. We thought maybe it was just a fluke, like it was like the pedestal at Lufkin. So we headed over to Camping World in Houston, where we were able to pick up a new cord and a new plug for our Airstream. We got to the KOA in South Padre Islands, got pulled in, everything hooked up. Goran put some dielectric grease onto the new plug and the old power socket so that we could just hopefully mitigate the issue if that was what it was, and it did the exact same thing. It started melting immediately. So we decided to stay in a hotel down the street rather than do further damage to our Airstream. So today we are headed over to Sierra Mobile RV to hopefully find a new 30 amp power socket for our Airstream to see if that will solve the problem. And if that doesn't, gotta figure out what we're gonna do. So this morning we are headed over to Sierra Mobile RV to see if we can get a new 30 amp power socket for the Airstream and see if that fixes the problem. We just did a quick Google search, and thankfully there was a local RV store that we could get supplies at.
This is our 30 amp connector. This socket is a standard 30 amp socket on an RV. And you can see here on this pin that it is getting pretty crispy right there, getting burnt up. You could also smell the plastic burning, and now I can feel that that one is really loose. So that was making a very bad connection. My initial assumption was that we needed to use a little dielectric grease and get a new cable, and that we might be okay with this as it was. This is what the connector looked like on the original cable that we were using. One of the joys of a vintage Airstream is you don't really know what was original and what was changed by the last guy. We think this might have been original. It's a regular Marine Co 30 amp connector. So we thought replacing our cable and using some dielectric grease should take care of it. Unfortunately, this socket had burned up pretty considerably. So this pin had gotten hot, and when it got hot, it burned up the cable on the other side of this connector that goes into the RV, into our junction box. What we tried to do then is replace this connector with a new one. We were able to find almost an exact replacement. It wasn't a Marine Co, but another brand. Purchased that and wanted to just replace it. Unfortunately, when we got to cutting this cable back, we could see that the neutral wire, which is that pin, had gotten pretty toasty inside the insulation. The insulation itself was sticking to the copper. The copper was all burned up. So we could not use this piece of cable that goes from our shore power socket into our electrical junction box. So we needed to replace it. Since we had already burned up the connection on this cable, most of this cable was just going to be tossed out. So instead what I did was I went back much further where the wire hadn't gotten hot, the wire was still good, and cut it back. This cable is the proper flex, high flex. It is 6 gauge, 3 conductor, which is exactly what we needed. So I removed a section that was still good. And so we cut that out, replaced it with the new socket, and got a brand new cable. Used dielectric grease from the beginning, and now we have no issues even when we're running full power 30 amp draw. Moral of the story is use your dielectric grease, make sure there's no sparking. But once you get into a situation where, say, this pin is already getting burnt up and that wire has heated up pretty significantly, you can't just replace the socket, the cable, or use a little dielectric grease. You really kind of have to replace everything as a set, because once this starts to go bad, the resistance is going to be really high on this. So it's going to always get hot no matter what kind of new cable you use or whether you use dielectric grease. It's already burned up on the inside. So you really got to replace all of that, put in something new, and you don't have to worry about it. So as an RVer, it's important to keep an eye out for this kind of a problem. Take a look at and inspect your electrical cables and connectors each time you connect. That being said, if you do see a problem and you're not qualified to do the work, or you're not comfortable for whatever reason doing that kind of work, please contact a qualified electrician or an RV tech and they can help you out. This, like most other electrical issues, can be very dangerous if the work is done incorrectly, so please be sure to know what the heck you're doing.
Yes, we were definitely not in the mood to make this tin can of ours our grave. So that's another reason we decided to stay in the hotel. Plus, it was Sunday. We couldn't get any parts. Nothing was open, and we had just gotten here. It was late. We were tired. We had been driving for days. But luckily, we were able to find that RV store that we used today and get everything fixed. So now, I think it might be time to go have some fun. What do you think, Goran?
Did you say fun? I could be down for some fun.
Okay, let's go. After we spent a few hours fixing the electrical systems, we headed over to SpaceX. You can see the SpaceX launch facility from the campground, but it's about an hour drive from South Padre Island. And once you're there, it's amazing. You can drive up almost right next to everything and take all the pictures you want. It's completely open to the public. You can't go on site, but it's super cool. We drove down to the end, which is Boca Chica Beach, to explore a little bit and decided that we were going to come back in the next day or two to cook breakfast on the beach and relax a bit. After our quick visit to SpaceX, it was time to start exploring South Padre Island. I found this information on southpadre.com. South Padre Island used to just be a beautiful, desolate place where native Karankawa Indians, migratory birds, and sea turtles were the only residents. The island was granted to Nicolas Bali from King Carlos III of Spain in 1759, and later was passed to Bali's grandson, Padre Jose Nicolas Bali. When Padre Bali owned the island, it was known as the Isla de Santiago. And due to Padre's reputation as a kind man, the people to whom he ministered affectionately referred to the island as La Isla Padre, or Padre Island. While the island's population has grown significantly since then, the sandy white beaches and calm ocean waters still attract migratory birds and sea turtles. You can find more information about South Padre Island on southpadre.com. Also, a strange fact about South Padre Island is that there's a certain article of clothing that has been banned. Apparently, neckties are illegal to wear in South Padre Island. I don't know if they enforce that or not, but it sounds pretty cool. Nowadays, it's a mecca for beachcombers everywhere, filled with restaurants, shopping, souvenirs, rentals, as well as the iconic beaches it is known for. Be sure to avoid coming down here in March because it is inundated with spring breakers, but hey, if that's your sort of thing, then definitely come down then. I would also not recommend coming down here in August like we did because it is super, super hot. It got up to like 105 degrees during the day. It was just unbearably hot, but still very beautiful.
So why did we decide to come to South Padre? A couple reasons. First reason is we're kind of scouting out locations for this winter, spend a little time someplace warm, get out of the Chicago winter. And we haven't been to South Padre before, so we thought we'd check it out and plan our trip. We're going to have a couple little ones by then, and want to make sure we know where the grocery store is and get the general lay of the land. And the second reason is because we wanted to come out and see SpaceX and see what's going on there. Both of us are big SpaceX nerds, and this is pretty close. It's about an hour or so drive out to where SpaceX's facility is, but we thought this would be a good opportunity to take care of both of those points. So beautiful spot, glad we came. It's a little warm in the summer, but we're looking forward to seeing it in the winter.
Next time on Goran and Jen, we cook breakfast on Boca Chica Beach and check out SpaceX some more. And we prepare to head to our next stop.